Welcome to the Husker Army Podcast with your host, Husker fanatic Ryan Knutson, former Husker wide receiver Kenny Cheatham, and Husker recruiting guru Matt Sass.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Fall in, out of attention. You're locked into another episode of the Husker Army Podcast, brought to you by the Husker Army fan page on Facebook. Mr. Matthew Malone, thank you. Man, Kenny, I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Brian Knutson. With me, as always, our other host, former Husker wide receiver Kenny Cheatham. Kenny, we're talking about a W today, my man.
Positive vibes. We're going to have positive vibes today.
Oh,
The first conference win in a year, so
I've got that Farrell song "Happy" going on in my head, man.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Let's enjoy it.
That's the whole reason for the sunglasses today, man. It's just feels great, and you're right. Yeah, as of if we had not won last night, and as everybody knows, we record on Sunday. We release it on Monday. Get over it. If we had not won Saturday, we would have gone into the Rutgers game this coming Friday and would be over a calendar year that Nebraska had last won a football game against Northwestern in Lincoln last year.
In the conference, because we beat North Dakota, but in the conference, yeah.
Yep. That's crazy to even think about.
Insane, right?
It's a stunning stat. It really is. If you would have told me even 15 years ago that would be a stat we're talking about today, I'd have said you're out of your damn mind.
Fake news.
Oh, I love it. Here we go. We could joke around. We could have fun with this. And look, also props to head coach Mickey Joseph getting his first W as head coach for Nebraska. And in convincing fashion, in my opinion, as far as the defensive side of the ball goes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Corcoran gets ejected for 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, almost back to back. I mean, I believe it was the same series.
Yeah, I think so.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Mickey was all up in his face after that one, and rightfully so.
As he should have been. I think a lot of times people don't understand how little things like that can alter a game, and that changed the momentum. That totally changed the momentum. So that was the classic case of someone was doing what they think is best for them, about them, and not about the team. And you saw it live and on TV, and everyone watching this podcast and hearing this podcast is going to understand when you hear coaches say that, when you hear players say that, the guys out there for themselves, that's a classic case of someone doing something for themselves, not thinking about the consequences and how it was going to affect the team. I mean, he deserved everything he got. If you read Mickey's lips, he tell him, get him the hell out of here. Get him, not so nice. Coach Joseph, let me be respectful to my man, to the big bro. He told him, get him out of here. I'll deal with it later. Yep. He said it. You read his lips. He was throwing him out as he should have. And I was like, yes, absolutely. Because he was like, who was it? And then when he got over there, he lit into him. So that was good to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey benched him for the next game.
Could be possibly. Or he can be up that stadium steps. He'll know every number of every stadium step in there. So I mean, you're going to have the people who said, oh, he was rough on him. Nah, this is football. This is sports. This is what you need from a youth. It teaches discipline. A lot of that stuff carries over into regular life. You're not disciplined. You don't understand, the teamwork aspect of everything, unless you're your own boss. But even as your own boss, you got employees and it's a team. You want them to work as a team to get the goal accomplished. So, you take that. He did it. He can't blame anyone but himself. He did it. Take what came with it. And all the words. Suck it up, get better. That's it.
That's the one thing I will say. When Corcoran got his butt over the sideline and Mickey was all up in his face, you could read it even through Corcoran's face mask. The head and eyes were down. The respect was there
Right.
because you could see Corcoran was like, I deserve this. You could read it on him. I deserve this. I screwed up. I deserve everything I'm getting from you right now. That
Absolutely.
tells me a lot about the respect that these players already have for Mickey Joseph. It's
hmm
ridiculous.
hmm
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's benched for one more game. I mean, and the O line did not play bad without him.
They played well. They played well yesterday. Wish we could have did a little bit more in running, but we ran well. I mean, I I really can't beat him up this game.
No,
I can't.
there were
So
some missed assignments here and there, like when Purdy got sacked in the end zone, coughed it up. Yeah, the Anthony wasn't quite sure whether to take the outside blitzer or the inside blitzer. By the
right,
time he looked back inside, it was too late.
right.
He was getting no help from the outside offensive lineman. I'm not sure exactly who it was. I'm sure everybody saw it and knows exactly who the hell I'm talking about right now, but I just don't off the bat. So, like you said, positive vibes, trying to stay positive today.
Yeah.
Lots of penalties, though. A lot of laundry on the field. It is definitely a busy day at the laundromat for some flags today.
Make the game longer.
Whoo!
It's a long game.
Reviews, penalties, back and forth, back and forth. My God.
I was trying to get to my Lord of the Rings series. I was watching that long game. Like, oh man, I missed it Friday. I'll watch it after this game. God, they won't stop getting flags.
Yeah.
Both sides, both sides.
Yeah, and didn't you have an Arizona State game to watch after that?
Arizona, USC.
Yeah, Arizona State, USC.
Someone else was playing, but
Arizona and Colorado.
yeah, couple games.
Go Wildcats.
West Coast games, all the West Coast games, man.
Go Wildcats, man. Colorado's 0-5 this year already. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All the real. Yeah.
oh. Well, Casey Thompson had himself a day. I
Mhm.
mean, not a bad day. 18 of 27, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So that's to me, that's a good day.
Mhm.
Granted, 18 of 27, yeah, you'd kind of like to see it maybe 20 of 27, maybe a little better. But he may not have had his best stuff last night, but he definitely had enough to win the game. And finally, we saw the offensive line give him some time.
Mhm. Yeah, that was I would say out of the games he's played this year, that was the worst that I've seen him play, but it wasn't bad. I just think he could have not taken some of the sacks.
Yep.
Just stepped up in the pocket, moved to the side, thrown it away if possible, because he sat back there and the guys got around the tackles and eventually got to him because he didn't step up in the pocket to step up and move right or left to try to find a window to throw it. And you saw he got chewed out by Whipple
Got benched even for a series. That's why Purdy was in.
on in regards to that.
Yep. Whipple chewed his butt out for getting that sack. Yeah.
Yeah, so he bounced back. He played well. The interception in the end zone, I think that was the south end zone, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
No in the stadium.
That was a hell of a play.
I think he was on his back foot when he threw it a little bit. He kind of threw it up, hoping catch it at the high point, but the defender got it, and that was a hell of an interception.
Yeah, it really was.
Interception. So, I mean, yeah, but it was in end zone, which put him on the 20. So I can't really. You can go the route like it was almost like a punt.
Yeah.
But still an interception. But he played well outside of the couple sacks, man. I was happy to see them put it together and not fold when it got tight.
That's exactly it. They didn't fold.
Right.
I mean, look, they went up 21-7, and I can't believe I'm even just mulling over this. Not to mention the block punt return for a touchdown. First time that's happened for Nebraska since 2009 against Baylor. So the stadium was rocking. I was excited. I couldn't believe what was going on, and here we are. We're leading after that. We're up 21-7. Then toward the end of the half, here comes that fast-paced offense from Indiana. and they start putting some drives together. And by the end of that first half, it's tied up. And defensive side of the ball, we're thinking, oh my God, here we go. They're getting gassed. Indiana's figuring us out on defense. Millen or Mullen, whatever the heck his name is, calling the game on BTN. Love-hate relationship with that guy. Kind of funny at times, but
Matt
kind
Millen,
of
OG.
yes, kind of says some things that you're like, maybe you shouldn't be on TV, man. But he was saying Indiana. It looked like Indiana was figuring out our defense. We're
How they
doing
were
a lot of
yeah.
a lot of man-to-man coverage there. But come out second half, made adjustments.
Mhm.
Kudos to Bill Bush. He had these guys ready. He really did. And offensive side of the ball, they got a little bit stale in that at the end of the first half.
Mhm.
Come out the second half, still a little bit stale. But then we start get Anthony Grant going, who only, had a bulk carry of 32 carries for 136 yards. The young man had a great day and put the jump cut on display.
Yeah, he's a workhorse, man. He's a big, sturdier back. You can give him the ball and he can go and get those yards. And he had a bunch of excellent runs up the middle where he fought and got some hard yards.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. Defensively, like you said, make the adjustments to my liking. There were still a little bit too many catches where there was no one near the guys underneath. Matt Millen even called it out on TV, throw it where they ain't, if you remember him saying that, because you could see where it was going because there was no one there. They were spreading them out to open up the inside to get the inside passes, which then led to the outside passes that the Indiana players caught. Now, some of those catches that they made were exceptional. Exceptional catches, exceptional throws. The quarterback threw it where only they could catch it, back shoulder. They were turning around, jumping and catching it. That stuff, you can't ask for more from the cornerback on. They were close to him. They were there on those deep balls, and they just made some hell of a catches, man. So, my thing is just hopefully we can finally stop them gashing us in the middle, because that's how the teams are getting upfield, with the little plays in the middle, and then the guys getting yards after that. Too many easy first downs on those type throws because our backers are inside and not really covering. But hey, defense play well. Let's get better defensively. Newsome had a great game. I think he had a great game. 28 had a great game. 44 had a great game. 32 had a good game. A lot of the players had 13, 1. Farmer had a decent game. Bad angles with him, and I forgot who the other guy was, got shook out of the draws on when the little guy caught the ball and they were on the ground. But it happens, man. It's football. You're going to get shook. So, but defense play well. Let's just get better. Like I said last week when we all did the joint podcast, did we think they were going to be mentally ready after Coach Frost was let go going into the Oklahoma game? That was a huge task for them to take on the team that was at that time hot and rolling. So once they got the bye week, it gave them a chance to regroup, refocus. You always get back to fundamentals during the season. Yep. So they got a chance to start hitting, wrapping up, which showed tackling was so much better this past game. And it looked like the same / different team altogether. Because even they said it on the telecast, and I think afterwards they were like, they have the talent.
Yeah. The
talent is there. If you watch the after game with Griffin and all those guys, they were like, they have the talent, they have the players, the talent is there. Something just wasn't clicking for them to put it all together. So,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of us fans, I suppose, we have our opinions of what that factor could have been, but neither here nor there. Offensive side of the ball again. I've got to give props to the big man himself, Jacques Yant, pounding that ball in there for that touchdown at the goal line. I mean, the young man is in there doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
And Jacques is just a big kid.
Did he lose weight? He looks a lot thinner.
I'll tell you what, he does look like he's trimmed down.
Look, was he back there returning the kickoff one time?
No, I don't know why they thought that was Yant, because that was way too small to be Yant.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's like, no, that can't be the same guy.
I
So-
even said it when they said Yant back there on the kickoff. I'm like, that's way too small to be Yant.
Yeah. So
And then, I mean, we got to talk about your specialty here, Kenny. The wide receiver, Mr. Trey Palmer, had himself a night. 8 receptions, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, not to mention the bomb touchdown for 71 yards from Casey Thompson. I mean, anytime we needed a clutch catch, it seemed like that was the guy Casey was going to, and Trey was just the hot hand.
yeah, I mean, look, he played exceptionally well. And he made timely catches during the night. The one catch, almost like a drag across the field when he caught it, and there were like 3 guys around him, and he took the hit right after.
Right in the hip.
Yeah. Of course, the touchdown. If you watch the route, it was nothing amazing, nothing where it got open. It was kind of like a lazy. The guy did this, he did a little, then ran, and then he was open, and Thompson put it right on him. He played well, man. He made big catches. I appreciated what he did last night. I appreciate what all the receivers did. Martin with the catch for the touchdown.
Yeah.
First score of the game. The tight end
Vokalek did good.
did well. They played well. Had a couple drops, but you're going to have that. This is football. No one's going to go 100% for catches. No, you're not going to have a game without catches. But they caught some hard balls. I think it was Williams with the one where he went up and the guy was bringing it down. He high pointed it. It was excellent effort. The defensive back, just made a hell of a play on that side of the ball and got it out. So they were active. They opened up the offense, but he did well, man. You know, we watch it. We're watching. You know, like I told you, I wish they get the other guys involved a little bit more so that they're not focusing on him as much.
Washington being one.
Teams are going to, let me stop talking in proper English. Teams are going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure the rest of them are ready. Next man up. We're up already, not the next man up. We're always up.
Yep.
Forget that next man up thing. It was just, I'm in there. And get them active. So that way it's spread around. So that way you have targets all over. You don't know who it's going to. You don't know who to expect. So
yeah, as far as the referees go last night, we talked about it. A lot of laundry on the field. But man, it just seemed like they were off on their calls. And that catch that Trey Palmer had that was reviewed because it was first called incomplete. Hey, that referee's literally standing right there, looking dead at the ball and Trey's hands, sees the whole thing, but still calls it incomplete. Even Millen was like, there's the referee right there staring at the play.
Yeah. I think on some of the calls like that, they want to. I think now that they're knowing it might be a questionable call and go up there calling it one way to see if it goes up the other way to get seen and reviewed, which takes a little bit off of them kind of determining the game or situations. They're still determining, it's almost like oxymoron. They're still determining it, but not. They can say, hey, we called it incomplete or a catch, but then they went back, oh, it wasn't a catch. Because we're still dealing with the human eye, still dealing with human error, you're still dealing with all those things. It was just both teams made a lot of mistakes. That's why we had so many flags. That's why the game was so long. But what was almost 200 yards total probably in penalties? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, God, I actually wrote this down. My God, we had 12 penalties for 111 yards. Indiana had 11 for 92.
So it's over 200 yards of penalties.
Yeah, I mean, my God, 23 penalties altogether.
Flag fest.
It
Referees
is.
I know they're tired from throwing all those flags.
Oh, dude, they've got tendonitis today in those elbows, man.
Yeah, man, craziness.
All right. Now we kind of talked about it already, but defensive side of the ball, that's the best we've seen them play all season, period. They allowed only 290 total yards Indiana was only 2 of 15 on third down conversions. They're forcing a turnover, which, my God, Luke Reimer, holy hell, number 28, young man, amazing. What a hit! What a hit! And the wherewithal to locate that football. Notice it's not on the ground and just take it away from him.
It's a live ball. Hell of a play.
That's heads up right there.
Yeah, hell of a play. Yeah, the hit that jarred it, kept it live for him to retrieve it. Hell of a play. Ty Robinson sighting, big boy was back there.
Man.
Mathis was, I think he tipped the ball, a couple of them.
Yep.
Back there, almost had a couple sacks.
Mathis back, like you said, Hartzog, number 13.
Yeah.
Young man that ran in the block punt, but then also doing it on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Number 1.
Buford?
Yeah. He was out there. Now, was one of the corners missing?
That's a good question. I am not. We have so damn many of them.
Opposite corner of Newsom, my buddy that got the holding against us, Georgia Southern. When I said does a lot of talking from Arizona State, I forget the name, but I didn't see him out there. Is it Hill? Is that his last name? What's his last name?
Well, if that's Hill, that'd be number 0. That's who they had back there returning kickoffs when they thought it was Yan.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't see him out on the defensive side of the ball.
Dude.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh. I'm just saying the shakeup looks good. I mean, they only allowed 223 in the air, and here's the stat: 67 yards on the ground. Period.
So we saved 300 yards of. We giving up 300 less yards this week than what we normally give up.
Yes.
We were almost giving up about a good 6 hot ones.
Oh, dude, easy.
It was like
easy.
It was like 2 plus and 3 plus, bro. So
at least. Not to mention, they give up 21 points in the first half. Well, technically only 14 because their defense scored one.
Right.
Second half, pitch a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
What more could you ask of the guys? They're out there getting 3 and outs, getting turnovers, getting pressure, they're getting sacks, getting tackles for loss. I mean, this is what we wanted to see out of these guys from the jump. And now, what did it take? This whole big shakeup to just let them play loose and be like, we're going to simplify things for you. Go out there and have fun, guys.
That's it. Now, I personally was sitting there when the game started and thought to myself, this is going to play a huge part in the rest of the season and how it's going to go. And how they respond tonight would probably dictate the ups and downs of the rest of the season. So for me, like I said, to see those guys do what they've done or what they did last night with that turnaround after getting embarrassed by OU, I can't be any more proud of them. Defensively, they played exceptionally well, but let's get better. Let's reduce all of those numbers on that end. You have a chance to do it. Make a statement, get yourself back, and just put the foot to the pedal. Let's go all the way. Let's go for it. Have belief in yourself. You can beat anybody that you step on the field with and play with that confidence. And the season could turn around, really turn around.
You really can. I mean, with that win against Indiana, we're tied in the West in the Big Ten. I mean, seriously, we're 2-3,
right? And
we are somehow tied.
Mm-hmm.
And only one ahead of us is Northwestern, and they get the tiebreaker. So we gotta take care of business on our end, and we'll just let fate decide it for Northwestern. Because if anything says anything as to how things are shaking out right now, as of the Indiana game, hey, look, I'm not gonna say we're going to the Big Ten title game or anything, but it's definitely looking much better.
Absolutely.
And Northwestern ain't looking so hot, period.
Right.
Their lone win is against us.
Right. Let that sink in. The Nebraska curse. Oklahoma's feeling it.
Dude, I love this curse. I love whoever brought this up because I started to think about it after looking at the Oklahoma. And I'm like, Oh my God. This happens a lot. Teams would come in and when in our worst years beat the living crap out of us, turn around the next week, play somebody that's less caliber than us, and lose.
Take the L. Yeah.
Oklahoma's just taking it to a whole nother level and doing it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, they got the brakes beat off of them.
They did lose Gabriel at quarterback. So I mean that could have made a huge difference.
Okay.
So I don't know. I did watch highlights and TCU just lit their defense up like they weren't even there.
Gave them the business.
They did. They really did. And I love when people say that too, because it reminds me of the greatest college football penalty call in history. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. And if I can find it, I'll play it right here for you.
Block in the back as Tom O'Brien looks on. Tony Brown.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business. We played it down.
That's a good one. Giving him the business.
Well, Jerry, with the quote of the year.
Boy, would have been a lot of flags back in the day if that had been called. Man.
Oh, giving him the business.
If I didn't find it, it goes a little something like this. Not sure who these players were, but back when the Versus channel was on, they had a college game on. There was a penalty on the offensive lineman. Referee goes up to make the call, turns his mic on, says, penalty, offense number 69. He was giving him the business.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I kid you not. I can't believe I ever heard. It is classic. I mean, seriously, if you've never seen or heard it, and I couldn't put it on here, go watch it.
Giving them the business down there. It's up. It was funny.
It was, and the fact that he made this call on national television, even the commentators had to laugh.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember it live. That was hilarious.
I've never heard that call in my life. I don't know what giving him the business would constitute for a penalty in college football.
He was probably like, "Oh, there's something going on in that pile. I can't really say."
Oh my God. Oh, it's man, how nice is this to be able to joke around, talk about a win, talk about how well things actually went. Because look, I'm not gonna lie, midway through that third quarter, it still looked bleak.
Yeah, it was kind of touch and go. You didn't know which way it was going to turn because of what happened going into prior to halftime with all of that stuff that transpired.
I kept having your words go through my head all the way through that second half. There it is.
Yeah.
I was waiting and it never happened.
Yeah. And then I got a little bit more confident when I said, "Oh, they get the ball back," because they deferred in the first half, and then let's see how that goes. But then it was kind of like you said, nip and tuck, and then we got the one touchdown, and then the other, and okay, So I feel good. Like I said, I feel exceptionally. I feel good for the players, the coaching staff, with all they've gone through this year. I'm sure Coach Frost is looking, even though he's no longer a coach, and he's proud of what they've done. I really feel good and elated for the fans who show up every week and fill that stadium and tune in, but the ones who are dedicatedly there week in, week out, whenever there's a Husker football game, and selling out and in that sense supporting the team, for them to get that after what all the teams have been going through, because they, we as fans, former players, everyone else all goes through the ups and downs of the program as well. So it was good to see everybody with smiles on their faces and celebrating last night. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, you tell me one other college fan base that would be 1-3, have a team that's 1-3, and then they keep selling out each game. All the turmoil we've been through, head coach fired, defensive coordinator fired. There is not a single college team in this country that would sell out their game after all that. Period.
Right. No, not at all. And this is where I get on a lot of people because I'm in Arizona and I get on a lot of people about certain teams. I say, here's the difference between, and let me be clear, I'm an Arizona kid, so I support Arizona schools. I'm an Arizona State fan. I grew up 15 minutes from ASU, and I support U of A as well. But of course, I'm close to California. And I look at the people who were at UCLA game the other day, and I look at the people who were at USC game against Arizona State. And there are a lot of teams. Now, Michigan fans show up, but they don't fill the stadium all the time. But they show up. Ohio State fans show up. The top 2 teams, but they're not selling out all the time. But
the swamp.
Yeah, but they're there.
Yeah.
Our fans are going to be there regardless. And here's one thing I always tell all those other teams. We don't hear your mouth until you start winning. You didn't hear LSU's fans' mouths until they had that epic year.
Yeah. Never
heard them. And they won the 1 championship years ago, or whatever, or 2 or whatever. But you never hear about them. Nope. You don't hear USC's fans' mouth until they start winning. Now, it's SC. SC is this. SC. I'm starting to hear that again. Okay, here we go. You're undefeated now. Now you've come out the woodworks. You know what I mean? You're going to hear a Nebraska fan. You're going to, regardless of what our record is, we're going to be proud and, where our stuff. You're going to hear Ohio State fan. You're going to hear Michigan. There's certain schools you're going to hear. In the Big Ten, you go hear from the fans. But the dedication, I would have to say, of being there 24/7 is undoubtedly an unquestioned Nebraska fan. I mean, it just is what it is. Hell, what? Lane Kiffin was complaining about people not showing his team's undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he was complaining about when they come out of the tunnel, it looks like a high school football game.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Everybody's getting snacks. I mean,
yeah, at the same time.
That concession stand must have got some woo-wee.
Yeah, people give us crap like there's nothing else to do here. What else is there to do there?
Mississippi.
Hold on. We'll keep it PG-13. There's plenty to do in Mississippi.
I ain't going.
I'm not blaming you one damn bit.
Go away.
I ain't going either. We could play Ole Miss or Mississippi State every single year. I'm not going.
Mm-mm.
There's their own brand of fun there.
Yeah, third person. Ken will not visit Mississippi. Kenny is not going to Mississippi ever.
Kenny is not going to visit the South anytime soon.
No bueno.
Oh my God. Oh man, I gotta tell you, this has been so much more fun today. I really hope we get to continue this in the next weeks.
Hope so.
Oh my God. What a blast it is to be able to do this, be happy about it. I was gonna buy some of those poppers to celebrate. I didn't want to clean the crap up afterwards. I'm lazy. So yeah. Start a new career tomorrow, and man,
congratulations.
Yeah, city of Omaha. Why not? Place I can retire from. Call it good. Yeah. Hey, you got the same deal going for yourself though.
Man, I'm chilling.
Yeah. You're doing all right. You're doing all right.
Yeah, man. Did my swearing in the office. What was that? A couple months ago? March.
Yeah.
May. It was May, I think. Maybe
was it May?
April, May. One of them. Took my oath postmaster. So
yeah.
Cool, man.
Congrats, my brother.
I just go to work, do my thing, serve the people, come home, man.
That's a great thing. I don't have to serve anybody at my job. I just get to go there, make sure the plant don't explode, and we're good.
That's it, man.
Now, if it explodes on my watch,
that's on you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I did tell them I had no experience.
They'll get you trained up.
Oh,
that's what good jobs do.
That's right.
Employees.
All right, Kenny. Well, my man, what a time. 35-21 Big Red. Now that's 1. Rutgers next. Let's go for 2.
Then they get another bye week to regroup.
Yep.
Get back to the basics. Come back, and I think they got what? Purdue after that?
Actually, I think we've got Purdue even after Rutgers, then the bye week.
Okay.
So 3 winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we do.
All right, everybody. We'll go ahead and shut her down now. I think we've had enough fun. Hey, it kind of sucks because when you win, you're upbeat, you're energetic, and then you kind of
Less to
struggle.
talk about.
Exactly. You kind of struggle on what to talk about because everybody saw how good it went. Everybody saw the improvements. We're just going over the same shit that everybody else has gone over.
Right.
Oh, man. All right. Well, we'll shut her down right now, everybody. You know where to find us by now. Twitter, Instagram, at Husker Army Pod. Kenny, where can they find you, my man? We got time. Go ahead and throw the plug.
Twitter, Husker Noop. That's HUSKERNUPE 1911. Instagram the same. Twitter, I'm always there. I'm always lurking in the background. So I see what everybody says and likes. You know, I just wait for the people to attack me in my inbox, and then I light them up and want to start exposing them like I did before and tearing their heads off. Because, you know, and like when people say slick stuff about Nebraska and it comes across my feed, like the guy the other day that I jumped on about who were they talking about? Who was that? Was it Michigan or somebody? Oh, that's why they gave Nebraska a title because they felt sorry for Coach Osborne. And I was like, well, maybe it's because we had 13 wins. Maybe it's because we didn't lose our number one spot to the Missouri game. Maybe it's because we beat the number 3 team in the country. Maybe by a large margin, and Michigan struggled with Washington State, and
In the Rose
they
Bowl.
hadn't won a national championship since before civil rights. So, people don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I tell them I don't count any championship before civil rights and school integration. So don't bark up that tree with me. Yeah. So let's not do that. You know, they get to selling those whoop tickets. Yeah. What you want to do? How far does rabbit hole you want to climb down? I want all the smoke.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's never a dull moment. It never is. All right, everybody. We told you where to find Kenny. We told you where to find us. I don't need to tell you where to find me because I'm just usually running the podcast. So that is what it is. It's W. Moving on to Rutgers this next week. Early game Friday night. All right. So let's get amped up. Let's get ready to go. So, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease, and you are all dismissed.